If you haven't heard already, obviously GameStop is accepting graded cards for trade-in at some local stores. I'm not going to rehash everything, but the really quick rundown for all this is that it is PSA only. It is 8 through 10, and the max value of the card is $500. So if you bring an Umbreon like someone like Shinyvert did, they're not going to take it or even give you a regular, give you like a good price on it and everything. So I'm not going to rehash, like I said, the extensive amount of content that people have been making. You can go through here on YouTube and see great videos of people doing hands-on, like run-throughs of the store from Powder to Leonhardt, or other people have sat here and gone through some of the other specifics of their whole deal. So I recommend you go check those out, and they're going to be very valuable to you if you're trying to learn everything about all the ins and outs of this GameStop scenario where they are taking trade-ins. What I want to walk through is where part of my expertise in the entire corporate world and just kind of knowing how some of this works is going to help give you some perspective. So the first thing to understand is that corporations do not by any means make decisions quickly. We saw in 2020 that this whole Pokemon world was extremely oversaturated with people trying to make a quick buck and flip, and we all probably made some money or know somebody else who does have somebody else who has made some money. The whole concept was obviously going to be picked up by corporations that have, the dollar signs in mind. And so the general consumers that we have of people who just wanted to go find Pokemon cards randomly like they used to, where they could just find packs on the shelf and everything, it kind of became a lot harder for them to do. But regardless, they are still trying to understand this graded card market. And so GameStop and other corporations, I wouldn't be surprised, start falling in a line, saw this massive boom of money that could be made. So slow corporate processes began from 2020 to now, where there's been testing and implementation of it. The concept that I'm starting to understand and see from them is that they're getting into this idea of what is going to make the most money in the fastest amount of time. And you would know from corporate people gathering data and everything that 8 through 10s in PSA probably move the fastest possible for GameStop. So it's not what's the highest number. Maybe it's what if it's a black label or whatever. 8 through 10s, $500 or less, are going to move faster for GameStop to be able to make money. So that's really the whole gist of why they're making that first decision. So the first decision of PSA $500, 8 through 10s, it's in and out. They could probably move the most of the product within that time. The second thing that I'm predicting and discovering is that we are going to be inundated with a lot of junk slabs and a lot of items that if you go to a collecticon or a card show that are going to be not quote unquote desirable to people like you or I, or people that are really integrated into the market. Ideally, GameStop wants to get good stuff, but I can imagine they're going to get a whole bunch of PSA 8 Charizards that are things that you just can't move quickly in the market. And the people that are going to buy that are going to be the grandmas, the 9 to 5ers that aren't into this market super heavy and just go, oh, Charizard, PSA, what's that? And maybe even not knowing a graded card market. And those people are going to start buying them. I don't think GameStop's going to be running into a really significant racket per se, where they're going into trying to take advantage of the consumer. But if you, as someone watching this video, is going to assume that I'm going to go to GameStop and find a Moonbreon or some other card that's $500 or more or something like that, that's going to be actually valuable, and find a good steal or a good deal or something like that, that's not going to happen. It's going to be all the stuff that you don't even want to buy at the shops anyway. So what I would say is that GameStop's just trying to make a lot of money, and they should. They're a for-profit billion-dollar corporation. Of course, they want to be able to do what they do best, I guess. But they're seeing a declining market in physical media, which is causing them to diversify into something that is a booming market. You as a consumer should take caution, because it's not going to be like, you know, you're finding a whole bunch of really cheap high-end slabs, but you're going to just most likely see junk. You're going to see nothing really there that you would want at a card show or a collecticon. It's nothing that is, I can imagine, is going to be highly desirable for you. Obviously collect and buy what you want, but it's just, there's just too much like uncertainty here, and there's too many things going on to assume that you're not going to have 5,000 Charizards at your GameStop. So it's not available all around the country. There's certain people in certain states that have been able to do the whole transaction. If you have done it, or know somebody who has done it and has some better information, I'd love to know what some of the inventory is like and all that kind of stuff. So drop a comment and we'll just kind of see what happens.